Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Gabby Turner, and in this video we have a pick a card reading in which we're going to be asking, how does he feel about you versus her? So that's the topic at hand. I hope it's helpful for you. And we have three options represented by these three different gemstones. Option number 1 is Azurite. Option number 2 is Epidote. And option number 3 is Smoky Quartz. So you can take your time to tune in using your intuition to determine which reading or reading options are calling out to you. The timestamps will be listed below, and you can also find information pinned at the top of the comments as well as in the description box regarding getting personal readings from me. So here we go. Again, once you've decided, just use the timestamp below to go directly to your reading, and I will see you there. Alright, group 1, you chose this beautiful Azurite, and the message at the bottom of the card says, explore your hidden depths. So I do feel like there's just an extra message for you personally before we get into the topic at hand, that there's a lot more about yourself that you don't know yet. And that doesn't mean that you're not a self-aware person or that you have discovered a lot about yourself, but some of us have like layers on layers on layers on layers. And I do feel like this is just an extra message to you about that. And I feel like it has something to do with maybe your friendships, your approaches to friendships, or how you go about socializing or inviting other people into your life. We have the Tower card. Like, I'm feeling like, I know this is an extra message, so if you didn't come here for this, but you know, I try to be an open channel, and so this is what I'm getting this as a message that you need. Yeah, we have the Tower card and the Queen of Swords. Like, I think that you may have had a lot of bad experiences maybe in your friendships, and it has caused you maybe to have to burn bridges, but also at some point just to hold your boundaries and say, like, I'm allowing a very limited access to myself. Socially. But I feel like, you know, it's almost like you're caught between a rock and a hard place, because, yeah, it would still also be nice to have the support of other people, but it's very hard to figure out, like, how to let that in and trust that there can be people who you can have good experiences with that are actually supportive, because, you know, it feels like you've been used to something different. So in any case, I feel like your spirit guides are saying there's something about that part of your life that's going to reveal itself to you soon. I think in a positive way, and it's going to help you to understand who you are more fully as well. I think what you're going to start understanding about yourself might be about how to, instead of putting up such harsh boundaries, like, yeah, keep safe boundaries with other people, but it's also about, like, how to hold people at a distance with grace, you know, so that you don't have to block everyone from getting in. There's still access to you for those people who have proven themselves to be reliable, for those people who have proven themselves to be trustworthy. So it's like the whole access to you doesn't have to be blocked from everyone anymore. You're getting into a phase of life where you can experience closeness and emotional connections with people socially, but also for those people that you do want to still hold from a distance, you're learning how to hold those people in grace. And I feel like that is opening up a lot of new doors for you in terms of understanding even who you are and what you want out of life. So I don't know. That's what I'm getting. I don't want to waste too much time on that. It's not wasting, but like, I know that some of you are like definitely wanting to like get to the main heart of the reading. So Okay. If you need more support on a question like that, though, of course, you can also get a personal reading from me. Okay, but the question at hand is about how does he feel about you? How does he feel for you versus her? So this is obviously geared towards a romantic connection. So I'm going to pull 3 cards for each. Let's do a good shuffle. Make sure we're getting clean, clear energy for each. So how does he feel towards group 3? This person they're watching for. Okay, wow. So we're just going to start with you, and then I will go into the her part of it. But how do they feel towards you? They feel lovingness, compatibility. We have the 2 of Cups, which is representing their energy. We're having the 10 of Cups, which is how they are seeing you, and the shared energy is the 10 of Pentacles. So they're definitely seeing you as someone that they would create a sense of family with, whether you would have kids together or pets or be a part of each other's extended family unit. You know, to me, the 10 of Pentacles is the shared energy also is like we are involved in each other's lives. Like, you know, like maybe you would even like know the people that they work with or vice versa, or like have some involvement in what each other does for a living in some way. It's like the boundaries are not distinct between, so the 10 of Cups is more like personal life family, and the 10 of Pentacles is more like public life family. Like, what's our reputation as a family? What are we doing to earn a living? How are we creating financial stability? What property do we own together? That type of thing. The 10 of Cups is like spending quality time together, nurturing that closeness as a family unit. But yeah, I mean, they see you as someone either who they do have a family with and they feel like you're the right person to have that lifestyle with, or they see that potential with you. Like, okay, you're someone I can settle down and create a family with. Yeah, and then the 2 of Cups, like they feel the lovingness with you. They feel the romance. So super positive here. Let's dig a little deeper. I think that they did not come to this conclusion easily, though. It's not like they made some sort of snap judgment of, you know, like group 1 is the one for me. Because we have the Hanged Man representing their energy as well. Like, they really have put a lot of thought into it. And they've leaned into their emotions. It's not just that they're using their brain and their brain is telling them, they're also listening to their heart, right? So the heart-mind connection for this person is very strong. For them to come to the conclusion that you are the world, you are their everything, you're the whole package, you're everything that they've been looking for. So anyway, I don't sugarcoat my readings. Like, when it's not this, you know, like overwhelmingly positive, I'm not going to say that it's overwhelmingly positive, but I will just tell you what I'm seeing in the cards, you know. Anything else that group 1 needs to know about how he sees them, and then we'll move on to how he sees her, and then we'll get some final summarizing insights. Anything else about how he sees her? Wow. Dang. You changed his mind about something. Judgment card. You changed his mind about, it could be like whether or not he was ready to commit with this Knight of Pentacles, or like what he needed or wanted in order to commit. It's like you made him see that possibility differently. I don't know. It's like you were bringing something to the table with this 6 of Cups that either he didn't know that that's what he needed, or it's like that final puzzle piece that he'd been looking for to like really feel like, okay, this is someone I could go the distance with. This is someone I could commit my life to. And it not just be the years that we spend together, but it's like, I truly do love you. Like, I kind of feel like what clicked for him with you is I wouldn't have to be forcing it. And I think that they may have viewed long-term relationships or, you know, marriage, long-term commitment. Maybe they'd seen a lot of couples who just seem like they're going through the emotion and like just trying to make it work or staying together for the sake of the kids, that type of thing. Like, you made them see it differently. Like, okay, that type of life, like where people are genuinely happy together, building a life, and like they're genuinely happy. Like, I think that's the part that really surprised them. Yeah, we have the Ace of Cups. Like, oh, this is what love is. Love isn't like just lust or passion or whatever. It's about like that solid, reliable, the cup is always overflowing. I can always trust this person is on my side. I can always trust that we would be in it together for the long haul, and that would be what would make us happy. Okay, so let's maneuver into how does he see her. Okay, how does he see her? So this is his own energy, Five of Cups. This is the shared energy, the Hermit, and this is how he's seeing her, Ace of Pentacles. I think that I mean, there doesn't seem to be a very strong connection between the two of them, but I would say with the Hermit, at best, he sees her as someone who maybe helps him to do some sort of self-reflecting. This could even be with this Four of Cups. It could, yeah, I think I said Five of Cups before, but it's a Four of Cups. It could be someone who has extended themselves to give him advice or support or talk to him about something that he's disappointed about. And it's almost like he kind of welcomes what she's saying, but at the same time, he's just like, I don't really know if you're right, or I don't really know if I want to hear from you, or, you know, because the Four of Cups is like someone is offering us something emotionally that we're not sure if we even really want it. So I think he's aware that at the very least, she has offered some sort of kindness or emotional presence in his life, but he's not sure if he even likes what she's offering. But at the same time, it does cause him to kind of go within and be in tune with himself. Like, okay, who am I? What do I want out of life? I think he also sees her, though, as someone who's like, you know, trying to create her own life too. Like, you know, she's this Ace of Pentacles and she's faced away from him. So I think he also feels like, well, she's more focused on creating her own life as an individual. We have this Eight of Wands as a clarifier. Like, I think he sees her as someone who basically is trying to get her life together. Maybe trying to open up doors of possibility for herself financially and or career-wise with this Ace of Pentacles. Feeling maybe a little bit overwhelmed herself, but despite the fact that she's overwhelmed, she's still taking the time to like encourage him or something. Okay, tell us a little bit more here about how he feels about her. I'm not going to lie, I would say that there is some sort of attraction here, because we have the Devil card as the mutual energy. He's coming through as the King of Cups. She's coming through as the Judgment. So there is an impact. Like, she has made some sort of impact in his life because she has sort of been a catalyst for him to think about things differently, I think. But I do feel like he kind of thinks like, well, if I were to be involved with her, it would be, yeah, there would be emotions involved. Yeah, it would be sexual. There would be lust or something involved. But it feels almost sort of like toxic, or yeah, almost like feeling stuck. Four of Pentacles. Like he feels like if he were to get involved with her, or if he is involved with her, there's a feeling of being stuck and not really liking it. Right? And so compared to how he feels for you, he's like, being with you, it doesn't feel stuck. It feels like, I'm glad to be here. I'm so overwhelmingly grateful to be here with you and to build a life with you. With her, it's like, if I got involved with her, I would feel like I'm stuck and just trying to force it. Okay, anything else? I think he does, you know, I would say that he does want to be kind to her because he sees her as sort of fragile or maybe insecure in some way. And he does feel like life is maybe a little bit too much or a little bit overwhelming. I think he feels like she's trying to pretend like things are better than what they are. Like, you know, I'm on top of it, everything's cool, but the reality is not that. And it's like he has empathy for her. I would say he definitely has empathy. You know, like he sees that she wants to create a better life for herself. And I think he wants to encourage her because she has encouraged him. I think he can basically relate to her journey in life. He's like, I understand your journey in life. There's something about your journey in life that is similar to mine. Okay. So, anything else for group 1 to know just overall regarding this guy that they're asking about? We have 5 of Swords. So the 5 of Swords is always cautioning us, you know, like not to get involved in a sense of competition with someone, that just as soon as you start viewing it as a competition, you've lost. That is the best way to immediately be the loser, is to view it as a competition to begin with at all. Right? Because even if you do quote unquote win, it's a hollow victory. You know, that said, it's human nature, you know, but I also want to read from this Osho Zen Tarot what they say about the 5 of Swords, just as a final spiritual message. If I can find where the swords are here. Okay, this, I'll find it eventually. Okay. All right. The 5 of Clouds. Comparison. So in this deck we have a tree and then a bamboo. Whoever told you that the bamboo is more beautiful than the oak, or the oak more valuable than the bamboo? Do you think the oak wishes it had a hollow trunk like this bamboo? Does the bamboo feel jealous of the oak because it is bigger and its leaves change color in the fall? The very idea of 2 trees comparing themselves to each other seems ridiculous, but we humans seem to find this habit very hard to break. Let's face it, there is always going to be somebody who is more beautiful, more talented, stronger, more intelligent, or apparently happier than you are. And conversely, there will always be those who are less than you in all these ways. The way to find out who you are is not by comparing yourself with others, but by looking to see whether you are fulfilling your own potential in the best way you know how. Comparison brings inferiority and superiority. When you don't compare, all of the inferiority and superiority disappear. Then you are simply there. A small bush or a big high tree, it doesn't matter. You are you. You are needed. A grass leaf is needed as much as the biggest star. Without the grass leaf, God will be less than he is. The sound of the cuckoo is needed as much as any Buddha. The world will be less rich if this cuckoo disappears. Just look around. All is needed and everything fits together. It is an organic unity. Nobody is higher and nobody is lower. Nobody superior, nobody inferior. Everybody is incomparably unique. So I think that what your spirit guides want you to take away from this is that when you think about how he feels towards you and how he feels towards her, it isn't about thinking I'm a better person or a lesser person. It is about saying we're different. We're different people. His feelings about us are different. But difference doesn't mean better or worse. We're different. We're different people. We're having different lives, different outcomes in our lives, different journeys, different destinies, right? So this is just to bring awareness of what those differences are. Like we can notice that there's obviously a difference between an oak tree and a bamboo. And yet we don't say that one is better than the other. They both need to exist. So I hope that is helpful. Thank you so much, Group 1, for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, Group 2, you chose this beautiful Epidote. Let's go ahead and get into your reading and find out how he feels about you versus her. And I will say that there is an initial message from your spirit guides about the fact that you're going through some sort of upgrade, because it says upgrade your version of you. You're going through changes. Changes. So I'm going to look at that first before I get into the topic at hand. This happened for Group 1 as well, and I just feel called to do it like this. So, all right, we have the Magician and Temperance. And the Knight of Cups. I feel like the upgrade that you're going through definitely affects your approach to or your skill set as it comes to forming a relationship to someone. So to me, the Temperance card, and we have the Sun and Moon here, right? The Sun and Moon have this constant dynamic with each other. They are a couple, sort of, right? They're constantly moving through their cycles. They create cycles together. So the Temperance card is about alchemy, like being able to take two things that are different and kind of combine them into one stronger force. Like when we alchemize two different metals, we can create a stronger metal. I think that what the upgrade that you're going through right now is something that is allowing you to create a better, stronger relationship alchemy. And we have the Knight of Cups, which has to do with like expressions of romantic love, courtly love, that type of thing. And the Magician is just like our ability to grasp something, our ability to manifest. Here she's got her palms open. So there's something here about an upgrade that you're going through that is helping you to alchemize romantic relationships for you much better. And this might require for some of you being single or just having your own space for a while. We have this Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Swords is usually not in a relationship. She usually is in solitude. She is single. She is highly individualistic. She's very independent. So for those of you who are watching this and you are single, this period that you're in where you're single is actually, or maybe you're separated or taking space from someone, but it's just letting you know, like, this is a kind of necessary process for you to go through this upgrade to this newer version of you that is better at alchemizing a relationship. So it's giving you the skill set or the foundation you need to have a strong relationship when you get there. Yeah, and then we have the Six of Cups. So it's like, don't think that just because you are single now, it means that you're going to be single forever, because the Six of Cups has to do with, you know, like sweetness and love and like emotional connection with other people. You know, on this particular deck's version of it, we have this like kind of like swampy emotional feeling. I kind of feel like for you all, group 2, maybe some of you get a little bit overwhelmed when you are confronted with a lot of emotional connections. Like maybe you do want to be in a relationship, but at the same time, once you're in a relationship, even if it's just a friendship, but like when you're emotionally engaged with other people, it can be a little bit overwhelming. It's like, okay, yeah, I want that relationship, I want that connection, but how do you manage all of the emotions that go along with it? That's what this period is. It's a testing and a trial period where you can kind of get stronger at navigating those emotional needs that come up in a relationship. Yeah, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Like you're being given what you need right now so that you can prepare yourself for a stable relationship. That's what I feel like. So that's just an extra message for you, Epidote group, group 2. But that said, let's get into the reading at hand. So how does he feel about you? We're going to start with that, and then we'll look next into how he feels about her. But right now we're focusing on you. So how does he feel about you? How does he feel about you, group 2, Epidote group? The Ace of Swords popping out. Okay, well, he thinks about you, I would say. Like, he has some thoughts. He has some definite conclusions, you know. Sometimes we can think about someone, we're like, I'm not really sure what to think about them. But, like, with you, I think the Ace of Swords is like, yeah, he feels pretty definite about you. And what does he feel definite about? So he's seeing you as the Three of Swords. He's seeing himself as the Tower card. He's seeing the shared energy as the Chariot. I would say, first of all, he feels like he has hurt you. He has caused you pain. That there's something about how he approached the dynamic with the two of you, or maybe just his life, or just his attitude. It's like he feels that he's been very destabilizing to you. Like he was sort of, maybe broke you down in a way. Let me ask more about this Tower card. Tower and Knight of Wands. Like he kind of feels like maybe he was a little bit too, like kind of assertive about pressing for his own needs. Like, I'm going to put my needs for freedom first. I'm going to put my own needs to assert. It's very assertive. Like, I want what I want. maybe a little bit bossy, like I'm telling people what to do. I'm a little bit of like control issues, but not allowing himself to be controlled. Like nobody's going to control me, but I will be controlling towards others. And I feel like this behavior, he realizes, he realizes this has caused you pain with this Three of Swords. Like, so, and then he's seeing the shared energy as the Chariot. I would say that he did feel that the two of you needed to come together and share at least some sort of important leg of your journey in life. Like that you were walking a similar path together, whether that was the relationship itself, or maybe you had some sort of common goal even outside of the relationship. But he feels like there's something where the two of you were in it together, right? But he was more assertive and kind of dictating things in a way that was very destabilizing to you. Let's find out more here. Let me help. I want him to explain his own energy more here. So I do feel like this is someone who, this guy is someone who is happiest when they are being applauded and validated and like almost like heralded like a king, you know? There's a bit of a rock star energy, like this person expects to be treated like a rock star and to be able to get, you know, with that Tower card, it's almost like the rock star tearing up the hotel room and just expecting other people to be okay with it. I feel like that energy, they know that they put that sort of energy towards you in some way. But I do feel like other people may have gotten, and maybe you also got some of this, like the brighter, happier qualities of the rock star. You experienced that as well. Like, oh, it's fun, you know, it's adventurous. You know, this is someone who has put in a lot of hard work with this Ten of Wands. So like, to use this rock star metaphor, for example, like it would be if this person were a rock star, you know, and I'm using this as a metaphor, but like they, just because they like that applause, they live for the applause. You know, they put in their hours, they put in the work. This person does know what they're doing in life. They've got some sort of expertise. Like there's a reason that people kind of look up to this person, right? It isn't just a facade. Like they've got some kudos to their name. Like they've got some credit. But yeah, I think that there may have been times when it was really fun to be around this person, but also their behavior could just be very shocking and chaotic and forceful in a way that they know hurt you, is basically the vibe. Then we have the Page of Cups. I feel maybe you needed to take your own space from this person. Page of Cups and the Hanged Man. Because I feel that you really loved them, but you're like, I can't allow myself to be loved in this way. This is brutal. The way that you're loving me, it's too much for me. And I think that this person loves you too and has loved you. But I feel like you question them in ways that other people don't necessarily. Like, I feel like other people are a little bit more indulgent because, again, back to that metaphor of the rock star, they're like, oh, everyone wants to be associated with this person because they've got this rock star energy, and I'm going to, like, plump up their ego and, you know, being a yes man and only say positive things towards them. I think that you were more real with them And like if you question something, you openly questioned them about it. Like, hey, why are you wrecking this hotel room? Like, what does that accomplish? You know, that doesn't make your music better. Why are you acting arrogant? You know, that kind of thing. Why are you being so assertive and like walking all over people and thinking that that's okay? So anyway, I feel like you guys, group 2, may have pulled away. It definitely feels like you established some firm boundaries. And this person understands why you did that. Like, they're not shocked that you pulled away. They understand it. They even feel themselves that it may have been better for you, that you needed that separation from them. They don't think that it necessarily made you happy to have to do that. But we've got King of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, and 2 of Swords. Like, they think for your own peace of mind, you pulled away from them. Okay. What else about this person? How do they view... To be honest, they almost expected that because they see a little bit of that same rock star energy in you that they have. They're seeing you as this Knight of Pentacles. It's like you've got the rock star energy, you've got that same sort of charisma and like stage presence, but you carry it in a much more grounded way. You know, the Knight of Pentacles versus, I think they were coming through as the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Swords. Like, yeah, you can command a presence as well. But you're going to do so in a way that's a bit more respectful, a bit more stable. There's something here that is hard. Like, this person has really compartmentalized some of their feelings for you, and I think it's their more loving feelings because they feel kind of judged by you, and I think that that makes them feel vulnerable. They don't really like to go there always in their emotions because of I would say they feel a little bit rejected by you. They know that you have a lot of feelings for them. Like, they know that your heart overflows for them. But there's something about the way that you have approached this, your own, the way that you've honored yourself, the way that you have refused to give up your own integrity for them, to give up your own personal leadership, you know, and just let them decide everything. Your strength, basically. Yeah, we have Page of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, and strength. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like they know that they don't have that power over you. Maybe at one time they thought they did, but I don't know if you notice on this strength card, this snake, the way that it's looking at her, it's wrapped around her, but like she's just happy and dancing. Like, that's strength. She's not scared of this snake. The snake she should be terrified, right? She's not. And the eyeball on that snake reminds me of the eyeball on this moon, which I think is also their energy towards you. It's like they feel like you should be more intimidated by them, but they know that you're too strong. You have your own strong will, and you're too strong to be intimidated by them. You can't be intimidated by this person. They respect that. They respect you as their equal, and they know that you also see yourself as their equal, which is why you're not bending down and kissing their boots like everybody else does. You're like, if I'm your equal, I'm not going to bend down and kiss your boots, and I'm not going to pretend that everything you do is acceptable when it's not. Right? There's a sense of honesty here. This person doesn't want to hear your honesty. They're almost more afraid of that than you are afraid of them, you know. It's almost like the snake is more afraid of the woman. Like, oh, this woman's dancing around and she's going to step on me. You know, with her honesty, with her strong honesty, she's going to step on me. Okay, anything more about how he views our group 2, and then we'll get into how he views her, whoever she is. I'm assuming you have someone specific in mind, but let's ask it. Any more about his feelings and thoughts about group 2 specifically? I just think that, you know, it's interesting because in the beginning we had them represented by that Tower card. Now you're coming through as the High Priestess, and it's a High Priestess that almost has its own Tower card energy. All these kind of like lightning bolts coming out of this woman, these hands, both of their hands. They feel, it's almost mutual, like you have this sort of catalyst effect on each other. So you have a catalyst sort of effect on this person. That makes them always have to question their ego, I feel like. It's interesting because I think this person knows that you love them, but even that is almost like a catalyst where they have to check their ego, because they're like, why do you love me? You know, like, you're one of the ones who like sees how terrible and awful I am. You'll call me out on it, but you do actually love me. Like, they actually feel like an overwhelming love coming from you, but it's a sort of tough love. It's a, I love you and I'm not gonna play the fool when it comes to you. So I don't know, but I still just feel like overall this person has their heart sort of blocked. I mean, this is the King of Cups, but the expression on this person's face as well is like, yeah, my heart feels you, which is what the King of Cups would do, be in touch with their emotions, but it's like they're pushing it away. This person is always like pushing away in an internal sense, like pushing away, acknowledging fully the love that exists between the two of you, because it's uncomfortable for them, because your love constantly calls this person's ego into question. But I would say, like, they admire you a lot more than what you realize. There's a lot of admiration here. Got four of Wands and the Hierophant. I feel like this person feels like you've really earned your station in life, or, you know, like whatever it is that whatever you have to your name in life, like you've truly earned it. Like things were not given to you. They respect you for that. And again, they respect you as an equal, although they do kind of feel, again, this almost sort of competitive energy. All right, so let's look and see how he views her. Okay, so how does he view her and feel about her? This is quite a different energy. I think he views her, first of all, as sort of solemn. He's viewing her as this Three of Pentacles. Like, she doesn't question him because she's, I don't know, it's just not like her focus. She is sad, though. He feels that she is sad. But he does feel like she brightens up when he's around with this 9 of Cups. So like that makes him feel good because like when the two of them are spending time together or talking, like he can tell that she's glad to have him there to sort of lift her mood. And then we have, he's seeing his own energy as the 7 of Swords, but it wanted to come through reversed. You see it also has a snake and a woman. So there is a similar dynamic here of, it's not like she is powerless. I think he views her as like also having this like strong sort of inner power, or like almost like Kundalini energy. Like he can relate to her as this is a quote unquote strong woman. But he doesn't desire for her to be intimidated by him. Whereas with you, I think he does want, he does wish that you were more intimidated. There's no intimidation here, but it's not like what his motive is towards her. Because he doesn't feel intimidated by her either. There's a mutual lack of intimidation. It's more like still, quiet energy. Like, you know, we kind of, when we're interacting, we kind of perk each other's mood up a little bit. I feel like they have fun together, basically, and like interesting, fun conversations as well. Like he likes to hear her thoughts about things with this Page of Swords. Like she might not try to intimidate him personally, but she does have an intimidating mindset, or like her perspectives. You see on this Page of Swords, she's lifting this like huge, heavy sword. She doesn't, you know, try to beat him over the head with how smart she is, but he sees her as very smart. Again, he sees her as an equal as well, but it's an equal where I think he views her as being less, I mean, just like less intimidating, basically. There's more harmony, you know, there's more harmony, there's more happiness. All right, anything else here to say about how he feels about her? To me, it almost feels like they have almost a codependent silent agreement that we don't even bring up certain topics, and because we both agree to that, like, we're not challenging each other. So again, that's very different from the dynamic with you, because you do bring things up, right? But with the two of them, it's kind of like, you know, there's something that maybe we sweep under the rug from time to time, and we both agree it's better just to leave that under the rug. Like, you know, I don't know, like what, maybe this person drinks too much sometimes, this guy, and like they both kind of agree just to pretend it's not happening, you know, that type of thing. They're like, whatever, everybody's got their faults, so we'll just not mention it. But anyway, the guy that you're asking about, they cherish this woman because she allows things to be, they mutually allow things to be kind of swept under the rug rather than triggering each other, you know. They let things lie. Okay, so let's see, what is the final message that that Page of Swords is coming out? What is the final message for group 2? I'm going to tap into a message from this Osho Zen deck based on the card that was pulled, which again was the Page of Swords. Which is the Page of Clouds in this deck, I think. Page of Clouds. Interesting. So this is what it looks like in the Osho Zen, minus the color. And this is what it looks like in this Mars Power Tarot deck. All right, so this is just a general summary message to you, Group 2. This is what happens when we forget that the mind is meant to be a servant and start to allow it to run our lives. The head is filled with mechanisms. The mouth is ranting and raving. And the whole surrounding atmosphere is being polluted by this factory of arguments and opinions. But wait, you say, the mind is what makes us human. It's the source of all progress, all great truths. If you believe that, try an experiment. Go into your room, shut the door, turn on a tape recorder, and give yourself total permission to say whatever is on your mind. If you really allow it all to come out without any censorship or editing, you'll be amazed at the amount of rubbish that comes spewing forth. The Page of Clouds is telling you that somebody somewhere is stuck in a head trip. Take a look and make sure it isn't you. This is the situation of your head. I see cycle handles and pedals and strange things that you have gathered from everywhere. Such a small head and no space to live in. And that rubbish goes on moving in your head. Your head goes on spinning and weaving. It keeps you occupied. Just think what kind of thoughts go on inside your mind. One day, just sit, close your doors, and write down for half an hour whatever is passing in your mind, and you will understand what I mean, and you will be surprised what goes on inside your mind. It remains in the background. It is constantly there. It surrounds you like a cloud. With this cloud, you cannot know reality. You cannot attain to spiritual perception. This cloud has to be dropped, and it is just with your decision to drop it that it will disappear. You are clinging to it. The cloud is not interested in you. Remember it. I feel like this is actually speaking, I mean, this could be, talking about you being involved in overthinking for sure, like it's kind of human nature. Monkey mind, right, is what they call it. But I think also there's something here about your dynamic with this guy that you're asking about in this reading, where, I don't know, maybe you're crunching through certain arguments or disagreements or thinking to yourself like, well, I bet they wouldn't see it this way and it bothers me, or something like that. I think what they're saying is like, maybe it isn't always necessary to care so much about what their perspective is. It's like you're wasting your own mental energy disagreeing with this person, maybe outrightly if the two of you are openly having dialogue and debates with each other, arguments. But I feel like maybe there's sometimes even just in your own head you're having arguments with this person, and your spirit guides are just saying like, why are you wasting so much mental energy on that and emotional energy on that? Yeah, so anyway, I hope that was helpful, Group 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello, Group 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful Smoky Quartz. I love Smoky Quartz. I feel like underrated Smoky Quartz is because it's brown, and brown isn't like typically seen as a quote-unquote pretty color, but there's something that's like sort of like luxurious and elegant, I think, about Smoky Quartz. But anyway, the message on the bottom of the deck says, arm your spiritual warrior. So I think this is just an extra additional message. The other groups have had these as well. I felt called to give. Arm your spiritual warrior. I think for you all, this is a much quicker message, and then we'll get into the heart of what we're here for, which is how does he feel about you versus her. But arming your spiritual warrior for you guys is interestingly represented by Venus and the Empress card. So I think it's about like honoring your own sacred beauty, honoring your sense of value and your sense of self-worth. So we'll find out if this is something that comes up in your dynamic with this guy that you're asking about. But in general, part of you to be a spiritual warrior right now is for you to not let anyone keep you from understanding your worth and your value. So maybe that's something you've encountered recently. Yeah, it's really about holding your ground, to be grounded. So yeah, arming your spiritual warrior is here. It comes through as more of a shield or a protection, or like creating a foundation for yourself of I have worth, I have value, nobody can convince me otherwise. All right, so that said, let's go ahead and get into the heart of the reading. So we're going to look first at how does he feel about you, group 3, Smoky Quartz group. And then we'll look at how does he feel about her, and then we'll get some final thoughts at the end. So how does he feel about Smoky Quartz group? Okay. So he's seeing himself as the Ten of Swords. He's seeing you as the Emperor, and the shared energy as the Two of Pentacles. I would say that he views you as someone who actually has a very strong sense of self. The Emperor, who knows what you're about, you know what you're doing with your life, or, you know, you seem like it to him, at least. That's how he's perceiving you. You're very self-directed. You go after what you want in life. And I think he's viewing himself as very much not. And so, like, your energy is overwhelming to him, because it's almost like it's making him question his own manhood. Like, okay, like, group 3 knows exactly how to manifest what they want out of life. And, you know, they may be wrong, or maybe you don't see it that way, but, like, that's how they're seeing you. And so it's making them question themselves a lot. And, you know, they do feel like the mutual thing that you have in common is maybe a lack of resources, a lack of clear opportunities. And yet, despite that, you've been able to sort of MacGyver your way through life and make the most of maybe not the best circumstances or not the greatest resources. Like, you're still making a lot out of those little resources. And you have a sense of pride and a sense of, well, I can accomplish something if I just set out to do it. I think this guy is really stuck in his head because he's comparing himself a lot to you, and he's like taking it personally. 3 of Swords. I would say that he does like you, you know, like he has a fondness for you, but he feels like he should be the one with something more to offer. And yet he doesn't. He feels like you're the one who has more to offer. And again, it's like making him question his his manhood. Like, what am I bringing to the table? They're doing more with, you know, group 3 is doing more with their life than I'm doing with mine, or they have more confidence or more will to act and go out there and do it and try their best than I do. So, like, what can I have to offer them? Let's see what else they're thinking and feeling about you. I think they also feel like maybe they have said or done something, or there's something about their own life that also makes you feel defensive. So they do feel like maybe both of you are making each other feel a little bit defensive. it could be like something that they have done in their life that's easy. I mean, this is giving like, I've got some, I mean, it sounds like both of you have not the best of circumstances going on somehow, but like, then there are times when things are really easy for them, or things are really just offered or handed to them, opportunities are given to them. And they feel like it might make you defensive because those opportunities aren't happening for you. Or it's like, okay, if you have this something in your own life that is easy, why aren't you like extending a hand to help me out? Some mixture here. Let me put down the cards for a minute and just collect my thoughts. They feel that you maybe feel a little bit wary of them because there are ways in which they could be more helpful and supportive. So here they are over here feeling like, oh, you're making me question my own manhood and do I have anything to offer? But they're at the same time as they're thinking that, they're like, yeah, but we both know, myself and group 3 both know that actually I do have certain things to offer, and these are the things that were easy for me, that were given to me, you know. And I could use these things to help group 3 out, but either group 3 doesn't fully want to allow me to do that, or I'm not doing it and group 3 feels a little bit resentful. It could be going in different directions here. Can we understand this dynamic a little bit more fully here? I would say that this person definitely feels judged by you. They feel that they have not made the most of their life. I mean, they're judging themselves even for that. Like, I haven't made the most of my life. I think they feel like you, group 3, you are making the most of your life. So anyway, there's a comparison going on here. And they're like, again, they're seeing you as the stronger force. They see you as a very strong person, someone who can make the most of your life. They feel like they're not meeting their own potential. And they feel like even though... And they feel like you're maybe the one who's helping them or something, when they should be the one helping you. They feel almost like you don't even really... You have gotten to the point, group 3, where you don't even really expect that they're going to be there for you. And so you are already looking for other ways of meeting your needs because you already know that it's not going to come from them. I just feel like a weird mix coming from this person where on the one hand, they even judge themselves because they're like, I should be doing more to support group 3. I should be showing up more, but selfishly, I just want to use all of my resources and my energy for myself. All right, is there anything else to be said about how he feels about group 3? I think he also feels, I mean, he feels like he is in competition with other men. And he thinks that ultimately he's not going to win that competition. He feels that he's not going to be the person who goes the distance with you, right? He doesn't see himself being with you long term. But he does feel that you will have that with someone, but he just doesn't feel like it is with him. So it's almost like he's assuming that the two of you, it's like, because he's already assuming that the two of you are not going to go the distance anyway, he's like, well, why should I go out of my way to do more for group 3? Because it would be like a bad investment. You know, they're going to end up choosing someone else anyway. And it's almost like when they think about that happening, they feel a sense of relief. On the one hand, because they want you to be happy. They want you to have a happy life with someone, even if it's not them. But they're also happy because this person really doesn't want the responsibilities of a long-term relationship. I feel like this is someone who would prefer to be like a bachelor. And they also don't want the like emotional responsibility. Right? Like they don't want to, basically they don't want to have to be there for you emotionally. And they don't want to have to allow you to be there for them emotionally. It's like they want almost like, okay, you deal with your emotions over there, I'll do with my emotions over here. Never the twain shall meet. I think they feel like it's almost that the energy between the two of you, if the two of you did try to forge a union and like live together and have some sort of happily ever after, they're like, it would not be a fairy tale. They're like, it would just end in disaster. And so they're like, why would I? Yeah, on the one hand, they feel like I'm not stepping up to the plate enough to be supportive of group 3, but then on the other hand, they're like, why would I do that? You know, because I can just see that it would end in disaster anyway, or that's what they would expect. Okay, any more about how he's feeling about group 3? No. So let's look into the other woman. How does this man, how is he feeling about this other woman? Well, I think that he's viewing her as kind and helpful and gracious, sort of an angel. We've got the Temperance card here. He feels like whatever is happening between the two of them, it is mutually beneficial. I think he's viewing, there's still a sort of separation here, like, well, I don't know. I mean, okay, so we have the Six of Swords clarified by the Page of Cups and the Sun card. And this is his energy towards her. I think he feels, maybe in a way he is more glad to be helpful to her. Yeah, I would say it feels more mutual. Or something, like he feels like it is worth the investment to kind of be more supportive of her in a way, because it brings happiness rather than eventual tower moments, which is what he thinks what would happen with you. I think he still feels uncertain about her though. But it's like, well, maybe this is a careful or a cautious investment. It's not as dangerous or risky of an investment, basically. That said, like, I mean, again, this guy would prefer just to be a bachelor, I think, and like not to invest in any long-term relationship. You know, like he doesn't have a whole lot of optimism regarding anyone. But I think he feels that maybe this woman's expectations of him are not too much, and he feels like more or less we can get along, you know, like we can go along to get along, maybe take space when we need it, but he doesn't feel like there's going to be some like tower moment, you know, horrible argument or something, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think he feels that overall there's more harmony with her, or like more potential harmony, or just not the potential for a big combative argument to take place. It's not to say that the two of you have had an argument like that. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but he just feels almost like, you know, that there's a strong likelihood that it could happen if he got too involved with you or something. Yeah, I would say like the energy with her, he feels it as being more carefree. It brings more happiness overall. There's not as much pressure hanging over his head when it comes to her. And I mean, he can see the way ahead more optimistically with her, I would say. Okay, is there anything else to say about how he's feeling towards her, the other woman? We get a no, but let me see what the final thought or insight is for you. Group 3, we have the Page of Wands. So I'm just reading from this Osho Zen. It's been very insightful so far. So what does Group 3 need to know here? So the Page of Fire. Life is rarely as serious as we believe it to be. And when we recognize this fact, it responds by giving us more and more opportunities to play. The woman in this card is celebrating the joy of being alive, like a butterfly that has emerged from its chrysalis into the promise of the light. She reminds us of the time when we were children, discovering seashells on the beach or building castles in the sand without any concern that the waves might come and wash them away in the next moment. She knows that life is a game, and she's playing the part of a clown right now with no sense of embarrassment or pretense. When the Page of Fire enters your life, it is a sign that you are ready for the fresh and the new. Something wonderful is just on the horizon, and you have just the right quality of playful innocence and clarity to welcome it with open arms. The moment you start seeing life as non-serious, a playfulness, all the burden on your heart disappears. All the fear of death, of life, of love, everything disappears. One starts living with a very light weight, or almost no weight. So weightless one becomes, one can fly into the open sky. Zen's greatest contribution is to give you an alternative to the serious man. The serious man has made the world. The serious man made all the religions. He has created all the philosophies, all the cultures, all the moralities. Everything that exists around you is a creation of the serious man. Zen has dropped out of the serious world. It has created a world of its own which is very playful, full of laughter, where even great masters behave like children. So whether it has to do specifically with this guy that you're asking about or just in your life in general, your spirit guides are trying to reassure you that life doesn't have to be so serious, you know. Treat it like life is a bit of a video game. Like, it's not the end of the world if you don't master something, or, you know, because it's just about the enjoyment of figuring it out as you go, the sort of adventure and the fun of life. Let me see if there's more of a message here. I think basically they're saying you don't need this guy to be involved in your life in a serious, that word serious. You don't need a serious relationship with this guy in order to, like, be having the happiest life. Yeah, like that carefree spirit is something that you can embrace for yourself in a way of, like, self-love. We have the Empress and the Queen of Cups. It's like, I would say that they're definitely encouraging you to embrace that lighthearted, carefree energy, and almost like as a form of self-love and self-appreciation. Like, I value myself enough to raise my spirits and be able to laugh at life, to laugh with life, to roll with the punches, to find that life is really just a playground. Okay, so that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope that that was helpful. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.